covers advertising. Does anyone know this guy? Ring any bells? No? Yeah? Cool. He's Nair, is it? I don't know, whatever. I can't pronounce that. I think it's Nair. And he's written a book called Hooked. Now this is all really interesting. If you go to this link here, it's a podcast of him with that Jason Calacanis guy that I despise, but he's very, very clever and he's absolutely worth listening to. And it's about the psychology of products and habit forming. And it's amazing because obviously we have phones going off all the time, we get messages, pings and all that kind of stuff, and that's, a psychological reinforcement of the product. Or, if someone's tweeting me, I'll get back and tweet them straight away. And it's a feedback loop. But one of the things he doesn't have time to talk about in his talk, and he does mention the fact that, I don't want this used for evil. I work for a charity, and I think that we should use habits to help people drive for charitable causes. Yeah, well, that's not going to happen, though. I'm afraid it's going to get used by every little startup out there, and they're going to find out how to build psychology into their products, how they're going to understand habit-forming products so that people are always pulling out their phones, so people are always interacting with your site or interacting with your content or responding to something or getting a badge or whatever it may be. That's what they will read this book to find out and understand. And one of the things I wish you talked about is I think we're coming to an arc now. Like Facebook has reached an arc. If you look at Facebook search terms on Google, you see it's actually coming down from the zenith of 2012. So they're losing people left, right and centre. And I think the same is true with our app world. I mean, I don't know you, but I'm getting pretty pissed off at the fact that I've got to have a Google Circle or Plus or whatever, a Twitter, a Facebook, an Instagram. Is there anything else? I don't know. But I just do Twitter, to be honest. But across multiple social networks, it's hard to keep up with that all the time, and for reasons I'm not too sure why. So I think we're approaching that zenith of this kind of the maximum amount of input we can take from all these networks that we're insisted that we sign up to and be part of and input to. And what I'd like to know is what's going to happen when the inevitable happens, which is, you pull out your phone at 6 in the morning, you're like, I don't want to freaking buy that or something, and you get really pissed off with it, and you shelve it, or you delete all your apps, and you only stick with your contacts and your phone book. That's going to happen, because we're getting to saturation, and what will happen after that? And in my mind, I think the only thing that matters is value. When that happens, it doesn't matter habit forming, it doesn't matter whether it hooks in, it doesn't matter whether you get feedback loops with your customers, whether going backwards and forth and interacting with your app or your web page. If it provides them with valuable knowledge and leaves them the hell alone, that is what will happen in the post-overstimulated kind of knowledge economy or whatever. I hate that word, but you know what I mean, yeah? Am I talking sense? See a lot of quizzical faces. Yeah. Okay, cool, good, thank you. Why that now? Right, okay, that's that covered. Right, okay, so I'll stop talking about crap and I'll talk about what I was actually going to talk about, which is turning spiders into flowers. Now this is a spider. Does anyone know where the spider's from?
David, the Australian guy.
David Thorne, yeah. This is hilarious. If you ever get a chance, type in Missing Missy into Google. Don't do it on a public train though, it'll laugh too loud. So this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is old apps, yeah? So you have multiple bits of the, so you've got the eyes and the mouth, and you've got various bits of the body over here. They interact with each other, but they're all different, and they all have different functions, yeah? And then you have your legs, and your legs are your actions. Okay, so signing up, inputting data, completing a form. And usually what happens when you do something like that on the old web is something like, yeah, the legs of the spider. It's something like this, right? Not the best example, but something close. So this is, coming back to 1, 2, 3 reg, again, this is their webmail thing. Okay, I signed in, and I get this. What do I care? I don't care, give me my inbox. How's this for? I'm going to sign in, and then I'm going to go up all the way up here, and I'm going to click on one of these, and I've got calendar, contacts, and I don't care about any of that. I just want what I paid for, which is my web. Now, Hotmail does that, Gmail does that, it just takes you straight to your inbox. So this is how the old web used to be. Yeah, so whatever task you did, you've got a message up here saying, congratulations, you've done successfully, or done in error. And once you get worse yet, you have to go back and repopulate the fields. Which is, so that's happening less and less nowadays. But that's how we turn these legs into petals, basically feed them back into our product or into our site. So So as soon as the sites that are very good at this are the ones that waste days and days of your time, like 20 celebrities you didn't know had a dog or something. And you click on it and you scroll to the bottom, and then as soon as you finish that, it's 20 celebrities you didn't know had a cat. And you're like, oh yes, I'll read that, brilliant. So they've absolutely tapped into that. Is you want something straight away. What comes after this? So whatever your actions are, whatever anybody's doing on your site, you have to be thinking, what do they do after this? Okay, so they've logged in, what are they going to do next? Well, they're going to read their email. You know, they've just completed a form, they've just put data on the site. What are they going to do next? Maybe they're going to add additional data. Maybe they want to see other people have added stuff. You know, or maybe they just want to see the final product or things around it. I don't know, but find out what their next mission is, because that feeds them back into your product. Because otherwise, this is a one-time journey. Yeah, it's just like, right, I've done that, I can go do something else now, which is funny enough leading back into my, you know, overstimulated thing. But that's, you know, what you need to build in. So that's the length of the spider covered. The body of the spider. Yeah. Oh. Yes, I know what I was going to cover. Let me just go forward. So, the body of the spider, the subtle body of the spider. The body of the flower, the middle of the flower, this is one object. It has one reason to exist, is to pollinate and to spread that flower around. Okay, it is a single purpose body. It has nothing else, and this is what we're seeing a lot of now in the app world. Where and I think that companies have come before, like Facebook, diversify and say, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. I've got, I don't have photos on my phone anymore. I've got moments. Shit about moments. I've got my photos. Thank you very much. So people, but there's a lot of companies out there that are finding that the way you please your customers, make your customers happy, is you do one thing and you do it well. Okay, so like when I was listening to one of those Jason Calcanis interviews, the guy on there's a very interesting thing. He said with Uber, it's got a button saying I want a cab. Click it, you get a cab. Quite simple. Pizza Express or Pizza Hut, they got a button that says I want a pizza. So you click on it, you get a pizza. Click it twice, you get 2 pizzas. Yeah, very, very simple interface. It might be things in the background doing loads of funky stuff, or it might be completely new, or it might replace the old way of inputting these details, inputting that, and just building and layering, and just all fit it right down to a single button. So it might be completely new, like geolocation, cool stuff like that, or it might be just summing up old tech or old ways of doing things. So that is how you kind of should be thinking about your sites or whatever you're working on nowadays, is feeding clients back in after their completed actions and making sure your primary action, your primary reason for your site or your app or your SaaS or whatever it is existing, does that and does that well, and you refine and you go on that in a loop. Don't worry about the other things. You know, if Twitter started worrying about photos, I'm sure it'll go down the pan, because Instagram would crush it. If Vine started to, I don't know, become social like Facebook, I'm sure they'd get crushed or something. They all do their own thing extremely, extremely well. And that's how you focus on them, that's how you please the clients, because that's why they're there. It's pretty much for that one thing. Does that make sense? Yeah, cool. Yes, I've described that. The centre of the app described that. Alright, the new review. This is one thing I just crammed in at the last minute. And I was thinking about this last night. Reviews and content, how we put content on the web. Now, the way we put content on the web at the moment is very linear. It's like a straight line. So what we put in is kind of what we get out. And I'll describe that with a very detailed graph here. You've got time taken. This is the time taken to create whatever your content is. And this is the value and what you get out of it. So in a very simple case, at the bottom here we've got a like button. So like button doesn't take much time. Click, like, not a problem. The other end, I've got, you know, I can see someone's liked something. The problem with that is it contains no context. So if someone likes a flower, I'm like, oh, that's pretty. But if someone likes George Bush's head rolling down the street, you know, I want to know why they like George Bush's head rolling down the street. What's the context of that? Why have they clicked on that? So the real problem with the like button is you can only end up liking things that are not controversial, because there's no context to it. And everyone's going, oh, Facebook has got all watered down and all this kind of crap. It's the tyranny of the like button, basically. Because you can't click on anything controversial, because it'll come back and bite you in the ass. And especially in a job interview or something. Oh, you like that, you know, there was a fight on a rugby pitch on BBC One. I saw on your Twitter thing, yeah, rejected, or whatever. That stuff can actually come back. And we've all seen it in the news multiple times. Maybe with high, you know, not A-list, but politicians mainly, and in Australia and so forth. They do something on Twitter and it just comes back. And sometimes it's mundane. It's not. There's not even a reason for it. And then higher up the graph, we've got reviews. Reviews take a lot of time to compile. They usually have star system, which is an easy bit, and they've got title, which is pretty easy to be quite honest. And then they've got the review. Now, if you go like everyone here's on Amazon, aren't they? You go to Amazon, you read some of the reviews. They're like epics. They should be sold on Kindles. They're huge because people put a lot of time to put across exactly how they feel about that product and what that product did for them. And you get a lot out of that, and you can figure out where that's potent for you. But the problem is, it takes them a long time to put out, and it's still a linear line, it hasn't changed. And I think the future is going to be where that's a little bit skewed, where you get less time putting something in, and you get more of a context. And what I'm thinking of is extreme, like Twitter's very good at this, 140? 140 characters, great. You can get a little bit of context in there, but you can mainly get information you point across. And I think we're going to get to the point where we're actually going to be utilising words a lot more. So you will see single, double, triple word reviews, and these will be able to give a little bit of context, and the people vote those up and vote those down, and from that you'll be able to find out that movie, it's one word review is shit, so I'm not going to see it. Or that laptop's got a review of blinded from 79 people. That's all I need to know. 79 people thought that was blinded. That's enough for me to buy. So you can get quite a lot out of that because the context there is actually in the word itself. So the like button is a binary. Yeah, like, not very useful. But a word in itself carries a lot of context. And because of marketing that's been happening in advertising for years, we know what's embedded in those words, embroidered in those words. And that's what I think will happen with how content is added to the web. That's me done. Basically, I won't keep you any longer. These guys do a very good guide if anyone's interested. I'm not selling any wares, but they're very, very cool. They do a PDF which you should check out because it's got this quote. Who's working on their own startup here? Anybody? No? Yay! Cool! Nice. Anybody else? No? Kind of ish. Right, I'm kind of ish, don't worry about it. But I thought this quote was very, very poignant about how to get traction, which is what everybody's talking about. Is if you become the doctor of your customers, they become the marketers of your business. It's that simple. Solve their actual pain and you won't have to spend a dime on marketing, which I think is very, very poignant.